Alright folks, today I'm going to give this thing a bit of a wash. I'll have a bit of a tinker with the paint. Now looking at it, a lot of the oxidization, the dirt's going to come off and it's going to go back to being orange, but we're going to be left with these bits. There's not much we can do about that. But the idea is, I want to get it cleaner and more presentable, hopefully get it running, moving under its own power if possible, and then it'll be sold to the next person as a more complete, presentable project. So, you know, and that's a really good way to do it, is you buy something here, make it better for as little as you can. A lot of the time it's just a bit of hard work, and then move it here, but it's still cheaper, and it allows someone to spend the money on it so that when they sell it, they get their money back or they make a bit on top, and everyone has a win the whole way across. Looking around the thing, all the vents, I've got everything in the boot for this. We've got new tail light lenses. It's a bit dark probably in here at the nest, so I'll give it a good clean out, and we'll start with the outside. I think the outside gives a little bit of wind in your sails when you can see what it starts to come up like. This is actually going to be the first time in, I would say, 20 years that this car has been washed, so that's pretty cool. 20-year barn find, Triumph TR7 getting washed. You can see all the little bits like the oxidization, unless there's something on it, but I don't think it is. But it feels rough on top, unless it's just the paint deteriorating and I'm starting to feel metal. Well, it's to be expected. 40 years old, hasn't been used, hasn't been cleaned. Looks like it's the original paint, aside from the rust repair. But hey, it's going to look a lot better. I can see bubbling, it's got to be under the paint. We're going to find out in a sec when I get the clay bar right. Is it? Oh shit. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but what a clay bar does is it gets all the contaminants off that's sitting on top of the paint. So years and years of dust and bugs and tree sap or whatever it might be, even a little bit of oxidization will come off with a clay bar. And you do this before you polish a car, so that if you polish a car, you imagine you got a polishing pad on it and you're wearing it around, and you haven't cleaned the paint, then you're basically getting all the dirt and stuff that's still on the paint, and it's going to go and scratch everything, which defeats the whole purpose anyway. So with a clay bar, or clay bars, by the looks, you start to get that all off. It's like exfoliating. And I'm sure all the men that watch this channel know exactly what exfoliating is. And the other thing we have to be careful of is when you're claying, is depending on the paint that's on the car. So I'm pretty sure this car is painted in acrylic, which means the clear is in it. If I'm not careful and I go too aggressive on this, it'll start to pull orange, which it might be a tiny bit, but it could just be dirt. But I don't want to go too hectic, because then we'll start to get really thin paint. Not that it really matters on it. I think it looks better. The lesser of two evils is having less of the black all over it. But, you know, we don't want to go through to any bare metal that we don't have to. Give it a quick dry off. Now it is in the shade, so it'll look a bit better than dry paint there. I can feel the difference. Can you guys hear that? And we might even run a polisher over it really quick and just see how it comes up. We'll use the world's cleanest polishing pad and some polish. And we'll just do a little test patch here and see what it comes up like. And that's going to determine if we do the rest of it, which I think we will. Inevitable in some parts if it's already thin. But we just want to see if it's going to be any better. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure that's a win. Much better. It's actually orange now. It looks like how it looks when it is wet. So I reckon we might spend the day and go around the car and get that happening, because that to that, big difference. All that grimy sound, as it starts to go away, That's what we would otherwise be polishing into the paint and scratching it if we didn't clay the car. Listen to that. And you can feel it with your hand as you do this. You can feel it getting smoother. You guys can see this, but it's starting to flatten out all the little spots that were a bit higher. I'm not really losing. This is good. Much better than it was. It's not really worth spending too much extra time on it than what we've got here. Whoever's going to buy this thing can see the condition that it's in, but for the sake of making something better, it certainly is. Well, very big day trying to tidy this up a bit. Well, it certainly, what should I say? It certainly presents better than it did before. Clay bar got a lot of stuff off, but as we've already touched on, the paint, you know, it's old. As far as I can tell, it's original. But at least, you know, once it's all washed down, we can see exactly sort of what condition it's in. I actually had a bit of an experiment. This is like polish I need to get off this once I wash it, but when I got the wool pad on it and really sat on it, it flattened a lot of this out. It's a lot more presentable. God, it looks terrible, doesn't it? But for what it is, considering where it was, I'd say that's a win.